Hi, my name is Kate and I'm one of the librarians in Richmond Libraries, and I'm here today to talk to you about the book recommendations for Black History Month. And because this year's theme is saluting our sisters, I've decided to choose just books by women. My first recommendation must be The List by Yomi Adegoke. And this is the story of Ola and Michael, a black power couple, famous on the internet, and they are just about to get married when Ola wakes up one day to the text messages asking her if she's in the list. It appears that Michael's name appears on the list of the men in the social media in different industries who are accused of sexual assaults and violence against women. This is a story of internet and how it can be weaponized, and it's the story of silenced black female voices. This is the story of a woman who is not sure what to believe, and this is the story of situations in which women find themselves not believed by others. So it comes highly recommended. It is a super quick read, and it is one of the stories that leaves you to think after reading it as well. My next recommendation is Rosewater by Liv Little, and this is the story of 28-year-old Elsie. She's black, she's queer, and she's an aspiring poet in some financial difficulties. So at the beginning of the book, she is evicted from her flat and moves in with her friend. In this debut novel, Liv Little writes about how it is to be black, queer, and estranged from your family. The main character, Elsie, is having some mental health issues. She's struggling with achieving her dreams of being a recognized poet, but she still has this hope that something will come through. It's a lovely character that the reader can root for, and this book is written in a really lovely way, and I am really looking forward to reading anything else that Little writes because I really enjoyed this book. So comes also highly recommended. My next recommendation is something completely different. So this year the publishing industry celebrated 20 years of Dorothy Koomson. 20 years ago, Dorothy Koomson wrote her first book, The Cupid Effect, and since then she's become one of the most successful and best-selling black British authors. She writes amazing suspense novels with domestic drama, and that's exactly what her new book, My Other Husband, is about. The main character is Cleo. Cleo is a successful woman. She is a writer, now a screenwriter. She adapted her books into a successful series. The series is called The Baking Detective, and I would love to see it. But unfortunately, she's also in the middle of the messy divorce, and someone's trying to frame her for murder. And she cannot say what her alibi is because that would reveal her big secret. So what I love about Dorothy Koomson's books is twists and turns, books about real characters and their lives and domestic trouble. They're very intense in places, quite often written in a dual perspective, a dual line, and there's always something interesting happening in those books that makes you think. So I recommend My Other Husband, and if you haven't read any other books by her, please do it now. And we are continuing with the genre, but this time it's a historical crime, and it is Harlem After Midnight by Louise Hare. This is Louise's third novel, and it's a direct continuation of Miss Aldridge's Regrets. So I would say it's best to read both of them. You'll find out more about characters and what they're doing in New York, and you also get to read a great mystery. But in this book, which is set directly after the first one is finished, we follow Lena and Will as they try to find out what happened with Lena's father. Lena's father is deceased. He died a couple of years ago. His name was Alfie, and he came from New York to England, and Lena really doesn't know anything about her family there, or indeed about her father's past. So as she's trying to find out more about him and about his decision to move to England, she's also faced with some issues and some surprises and secrets from Will's life as well. We meet amazing cast of Will's friends and family. We also learn a bit more about Harlem and about a black culture in States in 1930s, and there's also obviously something sinister going on, because in the very first chapter, the opening scene is a woman falling from the window, and she's got a passport in her hand and a passport in the name of Lena Aldridge. So if that doesn't grab you, I don't know what else will. So start with Miss Aldridge Regrets and then move straight away to Harlem After Midnight. You won't regret it. So my next recommendation is a non-fiction book, and it is a Black England, a Forgotten Georgian History by Professor Gretchen Gerzina. This is a recommendation for everyone who would like to learn a bit more about the presence of black people in Britain before Windrush. And I think this is still a very important subject, because many people are not necessarily aware of the fact that there were black people in Britain way before the 20th century. In this book we learn about famous figures from British history that happen to be black, like Francis Barber, or in fact Ignatius Sancho, who's got connections with Richmond. But we also learn about how established black life was in Britain at that time. There were black churches, black balls, there were organizations who were helping black people who had some financial difficulties as well. This is an amazing research book, very interestingly written, and I think it's a seminal work as well. There's a lot of current historians who still find this book a very important source of information for them, so it comes highly recommended by me. And my last recommendation today is an essay by Emma Dabiri, and it's called Disobedient Bodies. So in this essay she writes about how beauty is understood in different culture and what can we do to disrupt the narrative around it. It's a short essay, but I think it's important because it shows how standards of beauty are embodied in patriarchy and racism, and how important it is to disrupt those standards, and how different cultures perceive beauty as something completely different. I know it's a very short recommendation, but if it's not enough for you, I also recommend Emma's first non-fiction book, Don't Touch My Hair, which deals with black hair and how it is perceived across a Western culture. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget that all these books I mentioned today can be borrowed from Richmond libraries. We also have digital libraries. Both Libby and BorrowBox have their own little shelves with our Black History Month recommendations, so go and check them as well. And also watch our another film about recommendations for teen and YA books. That's all from me for today. Goodbye.